Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Attorney General, you announced that the DOJ would use its authority and resources, along with the FBI, to police speech at school board meetings. In your opinion, what limitations does the 10th Amendment bring to your effort to police those school board meetings and the speech therein?
Well, let me be clear. We have no intention of policing school board meetings, nor does any memorandum from me suggest that we would do that. The memorandum that you're referring to is about threats of violence, and that's all it's about. We greatly respect the First Amendment right of parents to appear before school boards and challenge and argue against provisions that the school boards are doing. This memorandum has absolutely nothing to do with that.
So you believe the sheriffs and the local police should police these school board meetings and investigate the threats of violence?
Yes, obviously the first step is for state and local authorities to do that. This memorandum is about cooperating with state and local authorities. Now, there are some federal statutes that cover threats and intimidation and harassment, and we have the obligation to enforce those. But those those don't apply within a school board meeting.
Thank you. I was hoping that you would articulate the 10th Amendment or some argument that comes from that, because I'm concerned that the announcement was an effort to basically freeze the speech or to suppress the speech of school board members. But I need to move on, and I want to ask you about something. There's a concern that there were agents of the government or assets of the government present on January 5th and January 6th during the protests. And I've got some pictures that I want to show you. If my staff could bring those to you.
I'm going to put it out there. I'm probably going to go to jail for it, okay? Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol.
I'm afraid I can't see that at all.
It's the picture.
Is that a video? No video.
All right, you have those images there, and they're captioned. They were from January 5th and January 6th. As far as we can determine, the individual who was saying he'll probably go to jail, he'll probably be arrested, but they need to go into the Capitol the next day, is then the next day directing people to the Capitol. And as far as we can find, this individual has not been charged with anything. You said this is one of the most sweeping investigations in history. Have you seen that video or those frames from that video?
So as I said at the outset, one of the norms of the Justice Department is to not comment on impending investigations, and particularly not to comment about particular scenes or particular individuals.
I was hoping today to give you an opportunity to put to rest the concerns that people have that there were federal agents or assets of the federal government present on January 5th and January 6th. Can you tell us, without talking about particular incidents or particular videos, how many agents or assets of the federal government were present on January 6th, whether they agitated to go into the Capitol, and if any of them did?
So I'm not going to violate this norm of the rule of law. I'm not going to comment on an investigation that's ongoing.
Let me ask you about the vaccine mandate at the DOJ. Is it true that employees of the DOJ can apply for a religious exemption?
The mandate, as I understand it, is a mandate which allows exceptions provided by law.
So,
Religious Freedom Restoration Act is a provision of law.
So the religious exemption has a basis in the Constitution, and so that's required to be constitutional. Can you tell me if anybody's been granted a religious exemption?
I don't know.
So I believe that it's fraud. In fact, fraud to tell people that you're going to preserve their constitutional religious accommodations by telling they can apply for an exemption and then not allowing any of those exemptions. And I'm sad to see that you can't tell us that anybody's been granted an exemption.
Ms. Dean.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe by clicking that middle button. Also, check out our previous video by clicking the video on the right, or a video you might enjoy by clicking the video on the left. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share this video on social media. Peace.